NBA curses have ruined some of the biggest NBA players' careers. From NBA girlfriends to mainstream rappers, these are some of the weirdest curses that have haunted NBA players. A lot of people believe these NBA curses are real, and some of these stories might actually shock you and make you believe in them too. And probably the most popular and most detrimental curse comes from one of the most famous families in America, the Kardashians. It seems that whenever a man dates someone from the Kardashian family, their career seems to implode, or at least decline in some way or another. The player most affected by the Kardashian curse seems to be Lamar Odom, who married Khloe Kardashian in 2009 after just dating for only 1 month. Now, after they divorced in 2015, Odom started to act kind of weird. First, he was found unconscious after overdosing on cocaine and was stuck in a coma. Luckily, he was okay, but it almost ended his life. And some other players affected by the Kardashian curse were Chandler Parsons, Tristan Thompson, Ben Simmons, Jordan Clarkson, and Chris Humphries. But it's important to remember that this curse, though this is rare, has been beaten before. James Harden dated Khloe Kardashian in 2015 and eventually broke it off in 2016. Following the breakup, Harden went on to play the best he ever played, winning MVP in 2018. Devin Booker is also trying to break the curse right now, and he's doing a pretty good job. Not even a year removed from him and Kendall Jenner's breakup, Booker put up a legendary postseason, playing some of the best basketball of his life. But maybe Devin just got lucky here because Kendall really isn't a Kardashian. Now, this curse is still haunting NBA players today, and it actually happened very recently. Kim Kardashian actually came to games 3 and 4 when the Lakers were playing against the Warriors, and they happened to win both of those games. Now, the Lakers went on to beat the Warriors and move on to play the Nuggets, and we all know what happened next. Well, it turns out Kim Kardashian decides to not show up to this series against the Nuggets, and the Lakers get swept 4-0. And this makes us wonder, is Kim Kardashian dating someone on the Lakers? Or maybe after all, she's a good luck charm and just needs to show up to every single playoff game. But another curse that we've seen destroy NBA careers is the #1 overall pick curse. This curse haunts players who are taken #1 in the NBA draft, and it has a mixed hit rate. For example, players like LeBron James and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar have obviously had successful careers after being drafted #1. But there are also plenty of players who got drafted first and went on to have very unfortunate NBA careers. Kwame Brown was selected #1 overall in the 2001 NBA draft and had a career averages of 6.6 points and 5.5 rebounds per game. Pretty disappointing for a #1 draft pick. Now, another good example of the #1 pick curse is Greg Oden, and he played a total of 3 seasons in the NBA. And this wasn't because he was so bad that he stopped playing in the NBA. He was actually an amazing basketball player, of course getting drafted #1. But he could just never stay healthy. And he missed his entire rookie year because of surgery on his right knee. And even worse is that when he came back, he got hurt again and missed a good chunk of his next 2 seasons. He was trying to play, but he was always getting hurt when he played. And after missing 3 straight years between 2010 and 2013, Oden tried to make a comeback, but fizzled out, only playing 23 games in 2014 and retiring not too long after that. But this curse doesn't just stop here. Anthony Bennett, Darko Milicic, and Michael Olowokandi were all other #1 picks who never really saw what they were destined to become. Some people speculate this happens because the pressure is too much, while others believe the teams just drafted the wrong players. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and hit the subscribe button so you don't get an NBA curse. Now, speaking of Greg Oden, it's time to discuss a curse that involves an entire NBA franchise, which is the Portland Trail Blazers. And this curse is known as the Portland Big Man Curse. This curse is put on talented centers who have played for the Portland Trail Blazers, and it has affected multiple big men, and it all started back in the early 70s with Bill Walton. Now, Bill Walton was an amazing player, and he actually helped Portland win their only championship. But this curse is scary in the sense that it makes these Portland big men prone to injury. Bill Walton missed a total of 4 years in his career due to an injury, missing back-to-back seasons in the early 80s right after his tenure with Portland. Sam Bowie was injured multiple times in his NBA career, and in his second season in the NBA, he suffered a broken foot, and then a knee injury in his fourth season. And because of these injuries, it really limited his playing time and his effectiveness, and Bowie's injuries are often cited as one of the biggest draft busts in NBA history. This was also iconic because the Portland Trail Blazers drafted him ahead of Michael Jordan, who we all know what kind of career he went on to have. Bowie only played for 6 seasons in the NBA, averaging 10.2 points and 7.5 rebounds per game when he retired from the NBA in 1992. Portland really should have gone for Michael Jordan here. And this curse is still active today. Yusuf Nurkic was a victim of this when he broke his leg in 2020 with the Trailblazers. Now, if you're a big man with NBA aspirations, just stay away from Portland. Another thing you may want to stay away from is being on the cover of NBA 2K. This is known as the 2K curse, which basically is that after a player makes it onto the cover of NBA 2K, the next year, they just end up having a really unfortunate season. And this has affected some of the league's best, from LeBron James being on the face of 2K14 and ended up losing the 2014 finals, prompting him to leave the Miami Heat forever. Kevin Durant was featured on the cover of 2K15, and in the year 2016, the Oklahoma City Thunder blew a 3-1 lead in the Western Conference Finals to the Warriors. Another example is Damian Lillard being on the cover of 2K21 and the Trailblazers going on to lose in the first round of the playoffs that year. So all I'm saying is if you're an NBA player watching this, decline the offer to be on the 2K cover athlete. Most recently, Devin Booker was on 2K23 and they went on into the playoffs with an amazing team, but ended up going on to lose in the playoffs to what ESPN says was an embarrassing 25-point loss. Another very dark curse is the Chase Center curse. Now, since the Golden State Warriors have moved to the Chase Center, there have been a lot of mishaps that involved injuries and unfortunate plays. Ever since the Warriors moved to this building, here's what's happened. Klay Thompson tore his ACL during the 2019 finals at the Chase Center. Kevin Durant left in free agency during the 2019 offseason. Steph Curry broke his hand at the start of the 2020 NBA season, and the Warriors missed the 2020 and 2021 NBA playoffs, and they were unable to play there during the COVID year. Now, many people suggest that this misfortune happened because they moved away from Oracle Arena, and if they never won the championship in 2022. I would think that the Chase Center was one of the most cursed places on earth. Not only can NBA arenas be cursed, so can NBA coaches. Have you ever heard about the Dwayne Casey curse? After winning Coach of the Year in 2018 with the Toronto Raptors, the organization decided to fire him in that offseason, leaving the Detroit Pistons to pick him up almost immediately. And in his first year with the Pistons, Detroit swept the Raptors in the regular season, going 3-0. The Raptors followed this up by beating the Pistons in their 3 matchups during the 2019 to 2020 regular season. And for the next 2 years, in 2021 and 2022, the Pistons beat the Raptors in every single matchup, going 6-0 over the 2-year span. But this all changed in 2023 when the Raptors went 4-0 against the Pistons, and Dwayne Casey moved from coaching into Detroit's front office. So while the curse may have officially been broken, there's no doubt that the Raptors struggled against Casey's Pistons squad after firing him. While Toronto may have struggled against Detroit, they have something that the Pistons don't: a superfan by the name of Drake. While Drake makes great music, he's been known to curse certain sports teams and cause them to lose in big games. While he's been rumored to curse players like Serena Williams and teams like the Kentucky Wildcats, he has also cursed his fair share of NBA organizations. 2016, Drake and fellow rapper French Montana made a $60,000 bet on the NBA Finals. Drake picked the Warriors and Montana bet the Cavaliers. So we all know the Cavs had the greatest comeback in NBA history, coming back down from 3-1. And this isn't the only time Drake cursed an NBA team. In 2019, the Philadelphia 76ers were playing the Raptors, and in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals, Drake wore a 76ers shorts so that he would curse them and hopefully help the Raptors advance. And guess what? It worked, because this is what happened that night.
Defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger?
No wonder that ball somehow made it into the hoop. Toronto would be thanking the Six God, because the Drake curse is in fact real. One of the biggest curses in the NBA today is actually by one of the biggest brands in the world today, and that is Nike. It's speculated that NBA players that are signed with Nike suffer injuries at a higher rate, and there has been a lot of them. In 2009, number 1 overall draft pick Blake Griffin hurt himself in the Clippers preseason game, which sidelined him for his entire first year in the NBA. And just before getting injured, Griffin signed with guess who? Nike. Coincidence? Maybe, but plenty of other Nike athletes have gotten hurt. Players like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Paul George have gotten hurt while signed with Nike. Now, obviously this could all be coincidence, but it's definitely a little bit odd.